You can complete an Ironman Triathlon, and I can tell you how. Completing a triathlon, and especially a long distance triathlon like an Ironman or a Rev 3, can sound very daunting. And let's face it, it is. It's a very long race, not to mention all the training up to that race. But it is possible, and once you get started, you'll find out it's really not that bad. Time flies, and at the end, it is well worth it. So let's get started. My first tip for you guys is to get a coach. Now, some of you might already have a coach, some might not. But for me, I went from nothing to a full Ironman in 1 year, and that was not possible without a coach. But also, a coach keeps you motivated. So I went out, started training on my own, and realized it's a daunting task. I don't know how to train properly for such a long event, and I decided to get a coach. Now, yes, coaches can be expensive, but if you find the right one, they normally can work with you on pricing, especially if it's your first one, and can help you out down the road. Even if it's just a couple months discounted or helping you out with buying gear or anything like that. But what the coach did for me was every day I had a schedule, and I'm big on keeping a schedule. So as long as it was on the schedule, I did it. Now, if it was just me on my own, it was very easy to be like, oh, no big deal. I can skip this one. No one's going to hold me accountable, and I can just move on. But besides the accountability, a coach also makes sure that you're not overtraining. Overtraining is a big deal, especially if you're new. You're all excited, you can't wait to do it, and you start packing on all these miles. It doesn't work that way. That's not sustainable. You will get hurt, you will get sick, and then eventually quit training. So I highly recommend getting a coach, even if you find one that's not the best high-level athlete in the world. Get someone who understands the sport, who's done it, and knows what to look out for in overtraining or burnout. My second tip for you guys is buy some equipment. Now, you don't have to go out and buy everything. The sport is very expensive. You probably already know that if you've looked into this at all. But you do need some type of equipment to get started. You can buy some running shoes, a swim cap, some swim trunks. You can buy some cycling shoes, helmet, jersey, stuff like that. It does not have to be top of the line, and I would highly recommend not buying top of the line stuff. Even buying a used bike or some used cycling shoes, that's okay. Down the road, you will find out that the equipment you have may not fit what you need, or it might be a perfect fit. But you don't want to go out and buy a $10,000 bike and realize that that bike is actually not what you're looking for. Or going out and buying 10 pair of running shoes and realizing the type of running shoes you bought cause injury. So go out, don't overspend, just get started. Just getting new equipment will get you out on the road, will get you in the pool, will get you swimming, and then you can build into other pieces of equipment as you go down the road. So make sure you get some good equipment, but it doesn't have to be top of the line, and you don't have to splurge on it right now. My number 3 tip is find some groups. So when I first started, I knew nobody in triathlon, and I was going out and riding my bike on the street and really didn't know what I was doing. But I didn't know what I was doing. So once my coach helped me find some groups, which is another reason why I am a big proponent of finding a coach, training became a lot easier. I had groups to ride with, but not only were there other people around me, but they taught me the rules of the road, how to ride safely, and it wasn't like a classroom exercise. You went out there and rode with them and you just learned off of them. Also, groups will show you new and exciting routes. I had no idea some of these roads that we were riding on, where they were, that they even connected, and how great they were for training. So now that I've rode with these groups, I could actually go out on a solo ride and do these rides and have just as much experience and enjoyment out of it than if I was doing it with the group. But if I would never got with that group, I wouldn't have known about it. And it would have blown my mind to know that, oh wow, I can ride 100 miles, 50 miles out and 50 miles back, especially where I live. Didn't think that was possible. So group rides are a big deal. Even if you can find running companions, that will really pass the time. You're going to be putting in 8, 9, 10 miles on average, and that's just going to be your normal run. Depending on how fast you run, that's an hour to an hour and a half of running. And to do that alone takes some mental skill, and you don't necessarily have to do that if you don't want to. So finding people to run with is also a big deal. And then your groups do kind of hold you accountable. You don't have to show up, there's no penalty for it, nothing's really going to happen, but at the same time, you don't want to drop on your group. So that does help wake up early and get there and make sure that you do show up. So my next tip is to set a schedule. And this is your daily schedule. Yes, your coach is going to give you your workouts for the week, but he's not going to tell you when and where to do them. So that's up on you. A lot of us have a 40-hour work week. We have kids, we have a significant other, and all that plays in. So on a Sunday or Saturday night, when you get all your workouts, schedule when and where you're going to do those workouts for the whole week. You don't want to be Tuesday night looking at Wednesday, seeing that you have a swim and a run, and you don't have it scheduled out, and you're just going to wake up and figure out how to do it. It won't happen. You're going to end up missing them, you're going to skip them, you're going to have more reason not to show up to the groups or whatever you're going to be doing. So on a Sunday, what I would do is I would schedule my Monday through Saturday. What time I'm going to wake up. A lot of times I do my swims in the morning or my hour runs. And then I'll do my longer bike at night, which would be an hour to hour and a half. If I have a swim and a bike, or a swim and a run on the same day, I'll normally do my swim in the morning and my run at night. It is much easier for me personally to get up earlier, hit the gym, get in the pool, less people, swim, get out, go to work. You feel refreshed, you feel good to go. The run then after work is, as soon as I get home, I put on some shoes, run from my house, get some runs done. Instead of driving, dealing with traffic to get to the gym, the pool's now full, you're waiting for a lane or you're sharing, and then now you gotta drive back home and cook dinner and everything else. So setting a schedule is a big deal. And then once you kind of have the framework, you can repeat that all the way up to your races. Obviously holidays get in the way and other things, but once you kind of have a frame, you can repeat it. And it'll keep you motivated, it'll keep you on schedule, and you won't miss nearly as many workouts. My next tip is about food. So part of the benefit of being a triathlete, especially a long distance triathlete, is the fact that you can really eat anything. Now that's double-sided here. You can eat junk food, and yes, you're not going to gain weight, you're actually slim down and gain muscle and everything else. But your workouts aren't going to be as good because you don't have that great of fuel in your body. But on the flip side, you can completely redo all your food to eat healthier or have more protein or whatever your coach or dietitian is telling you to do. But that is a lifestyle change, and a lot of people don't want to do that at the beginning. And I'm telling you, you don't have to. I went a good solid 6 months. I didn't change my eating besides more food because you will be hungry constantly and you'll constantly eat, but I ate the same stuff, and it wasn't the best stuff. I mean, I still ate the fast food and maybe had a couple cooked dinners a week, but it wasn't all that great, and I still made it. I still gained muscle, I still slimmed down, I still could do the workouts. Were they as great of workouts? Probably not, but I'm not going for pro status here. I'm going to finish an Ironman. So you don't need to change your food right away. If that's a big deal to you and you don't want to give that up, you don't have to. You don't have to put yourself through all this. You don't have to suffer per se. You can continue eating what you're eating. And if other people are telling you, no, you need to change, unless your body's telling you you need to change, continue doing what you're doing. Enjoy the sport. That's why you're here. You're here to enjoy it. This isn't something you were forced into or that you have to do. So if you want to keep eating the same way, do that. If you don't, and you look forward to changing it, change it. It's all up to you. Alright, so my next couple of tips aren't necessarily kind of like the first ones, but these are more so when you start getting burnt out, or how to stay motivated. So the next one is, talk to friends. All your friends who are not triathletes, or would never consider doing one, let them know what you're doing. Friends and family and close relatives, let them know, because when you talk to them about it, the motivation and the energy that you get from them is huge. that you're going to get a lot of, "You're crazy, oh my gosh, how do you do it, how do you schedule?" And the more you get to talk about it, the more you feel like doing it. You feel proud about it. It gives you confidence that, oh wow, these other people really would never consider doing this, and here I am being different and really setting up and accomplishing a huge goal. So talking to your friends can really get you through that rough time in your training, because you're going to have them. You're going to have the lows. The workout was terrible. Your next 5 workouts weren't that great. It's always raining on you when you're running. In the pool was freezing cold and you only got half the workout done. Whatever it is, you're going to have that, but going and talking to friends about it or just being around them, they're going to ask you about it. They're going to want to know, and just talking about it will get you through those ruts and make you feel good about doing it again. My next tip is it's okay to skip workouts. Just because you have a schedule does not mean you have to stick to that schedule. If you're not feeling well, if you're injured, if you feel like you're getting injured or you're getting burnt, skip a workout. If you have to, skip 2. If you're doing double days, which happens, skip 2 days, which is 4 workouts. It's going to be okay. Skipping a couple workouts is not going to kill your performance. You don't lose all your gains in 2 days. We have off days, but sometimes those off days have to be different days. It could be from your burnout, or it could be that for some reason that day your schedule is just too crazy to get stuff done. So don't feel like you have to hit every workout to the exact time and parameters that your coach gave you. You can skip them, and you can come back to other ones later. Now, with that said, you don't want to get in the habit of skipping a bunch of them, or always being the guy that does the workouts halfway. But if you're consistent and you're always doing them, it's not a big deal. If you're hurt, feel like you're getting hurt, feel like you're getting burnt, or you just want a night off, you can skip one and you're not going to lose anything. Just talk to your coach about it. He will rework your schedule, keep you on the same path, and it'll be okay. My next tip kind of goes with the last one, but is don't get sick. That's big. It's very easy to get sick when you're doing such intense training all the time. It takes your body a while to get used to it, and even when you're used to it, you can still get sick. Now, if you get sick, it's okay. Take your time off, recover. But if you can avoid getting sick, then you need to. Because once you get sick, you miss several workouts, you get unmotivated, you break your schedule, and it's harder to get back into the routine. Where if you start to feel like you're getting sick, look, it's okay to skip it. It's okay. If you even feel a hint of it, take a day off. Let your body recover. Get a good night's sleep. Go to bed early. Wake up. Let the stress go. And don't get sick. And then you won't be missing workouts. At the end of it, it's more enjoyable. Who signed up to this to get sick and consistently be sick over and over and over? Nobody. We're here to do this for fun, for enjoyment. Being sick is not enjoyment. So, it's okay to skip, especially if you're getting sick, and try to avoid being sick for a prolonged period of time. My next tip might sound a little contradictory to one earlier, but it's buy new equipment. So you've been going, say you're 3-4 months into this, and you're starting to get a little burnt out. It's hard to get up for those early morning runs, or on your Saturday long run, wow, I gotta do 17 miles, and you're just not feeling it. Go buy new equipment. Go buy a new pair of running shoes. There's nothing more motivating and wanting to get you out there than when you buy a new piece of equipment. So you've had these shoes and you're just not feeling that run. You go out and buy a pair of new, say, Newtons or whatever brand you're using. Now, you want to go use that piece of equipment, because we don't just buy stuff to buy stuff, we buy it to use it. So when you buy that new pair of running shoes, you want to go out there and use them. Even if it's the same brand, same model, everything, it'll still feel different because they're new shoes and it has more spring to them or something else. That same thing goes with just swimming. As simple as a different swim cap. I know for me, the image really helped me keep going. When I go swimming, if I put on an Ironman cap, if you've completed, say, a 70.3 or something, or even just a sprint triathlon cap, it sets you apart from people And for me, that kept me going. Didn't feel like doing that big swim. Hey, I just kind of grabbed a different swim cap that day, went out there, because I know when I'm swimming, people are looking at me going, oh wow, he's a triathlete. Man, that's impressive. Even they don't even have to say it to me, but in my mind I'm thinking that, and that got me to the pool and got the workout done, and that's what we're looking for. Consistency, getting these workouts done, and enjoying it. And to me, that's enjoyment. Just knowing that I'm different or set apart from others from some of the goals I have. So if you're in a rut, go buy a piece of new equipment. I'm not saying a $10,000 bike here. It could even be just a new pair of socks that go up higher up on your legs so you look cool when you're running. Anything like that makes a difference. My last tip is to schedule a race. You don't have to schedule your Ironman or your Rev 3 event, but it can be a 70.3, also known as a half Ironman. It could be a sprint triathlon. It could be Olympic distance. But schedule some kind of a race. It could even be a half marathon. But once you schedule a race, you now have a reason to train. You have a goal to get to. You have some reason to get there, and you're just not doing the monotonous training week after week after week. You can have that 70.3 on the schedule and go, oh, I can't wait. You get used to the race environment. You get the enjoyment out of it. You get to see how it all works. Scheduling a race is a big deal. Now, if you do a 70.3, which is how I did it, I signed up with the coach. I actually signed up for my Ironman, which was a year out, but then we put a 70.3 in the middle, and I was thinking, wow, 70.3, that's huge. I can't even run 10 miles. How am I going to do all this? By the time I got to my 70.3, it was a long training day for me. And that's crazy to think about. That race, which is a half Ironman, wasn't anything more than a long training day. And before I ever got to that 70.3, I actually scheduled an Olympic distance beforehand. And after doing the Olympic distance, my first thought was, I'm never going to be able to complete an Ironman. That's okay. These distances have different training aspects. Ironman is long and slow. The Olympic is short and fast. So you're training your body up to go long and slow, and you get an event that requires short and fast. Yeah, your body can't handle that. That's okay. You're just there for the excitement and the competition and understanding the events better. So when I got to my 70.3, I kind of understood that a little bit, and I ended up qualifying for the 70.3 World Championships on my first 70.3. That's because I got a coach, got everything in line, kept to the schedules, and kind of followed these tips and had great success with it. Now, will everyone have that success? No. I was fortunate. I got a roll down spot, and I worked pretty hard. I mean, I pushed my body to the limit in that race. But this is not so much pushing limits, it's just completing an Ironman. And whether you complete an Ironman in 17 hours or in 8 hours, unless you're pro, nobody cares. Whenever I'm wearing this shirt, it doesn't say, oh, I completed in 17 hours. It says, I completed an Ironman. Someone walks up and sees that shirt, they're going to go, wow, you did an Ironman. They're going to be like, oh, what was your finish time? 17 hours? Oh, whatever. They don't care. So don't get hung up on that. So just schedule your races, look forward to them, enjoy the moment, that's why you're there, and then look forward to your next one. So that's basically my video on how to complete an Ironman, and it's not so much the race itself, but more so just the idea behind it, how to get started. And once you get going, it's very hard to stop. So please subscribe to my channel. I have several other videos that I'll be posting about triathlon and gear setups and things I do different, things I love, why I do it, everything like that. Follow me on Instagram and leave a comment below. What else do you guys want to know? What other questions do you have? What are you scared about? What are you not scared about? I'll gladly answer any of them, and I look forward to hearing from you.